Hey, back for part two of my air sign series for tonight. We are doing full moon readings, and this one I'm going to do for Libra. So thank you so much for bearing with me as I'm kind of trying new things out. So I had to take a break after the first reading. So rather than do them all together tonight, I think I'm just going to kind of break them up into three separate readings. So this reading is dedicated to Libras. If your sun sign is in Libra, your rising, your moon, or your north node is in Libra, then this is for you. Your north node would be the north node of the moon. If you want to find out what your life lessons are, how to transcend your karmic debt, how to find out like what your life's purpose is, then go and look up what your north node is. You can go like Cafe Astrology and enter in your, all you need to know actually is your year of birth. You don't even need your birth time. And look up your north node. It's super helpful if you're trying to really grow and transcend patterns and break patterns in your life. Mine is actually in Libra. So this is where I've been hanging out for a while. So we are at the full moon phase. So we're checking in tonight, following up on the new moon intentions we set roughly 2 weeks ago for Libra. This full moon is in your 11th house. It's about friends. It's about social circles, networks, and finding balance between indulging yourself and having fun, and just kind of remembering the people around you. Those are some kind of things to look out for, Libras. Keeping in mind that with this particular full moon being in Leo, we've got, it's all about appearances. It's all about pride and confidence and passion. Also, we've got other stuff going on astrologically speaking. So this particular full moon is about healing and challenges. But what's come into play today is Mercury has gone into retrograde. I'm not going to go into all what the hell that means behind the scenes, but what that means for us, and what that means for us emotionally is Mercury rules communication, all forms of communication. So, and also including negotiation and contracts, as well as travel, automobiles, and shipping and mail. So things get kind of hairy when Mercury goes into retrograde. Things get a little backwards. When you're gonna travel up through the 21st of February, give yourself some extra time, prepare for delays. Be prepared for miscommunications. Be prepared to stumble over your words. I've been doing it all night, all day. Now, specifically for Libras, in retrograde, this is for you. This is all about appearances. I think we talked about that. So the advice is don't change your appearance. Don't go get a haircut. In other words, don't make any crazy decisions. Don't go drastic. You might feel like chopping off all your hair or changing it massively in color. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. You'll be grateful that we stopped you. Wait till after retrograde. During Mercury retrograde, just don't make any major decisions, okay? Normally, Libras are completely balanced and gracious, and that's a normal state of being for Libra. But it's going to be a little rough for you the next 2 weeks. But we're going to talk about how we can capitalize on this uncomfortableness that might be coming in and what we can release during that time. Also, you may need to be setting some boundaries with friends over the next 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, 3 weeks for retrograde. You might need to set boundaries, but don't be afraid, because your friends are going to really respect you for it, and you're going to feel so much more appreciated when you realize, like, hey, I can set boundaries. Things are going to be okay. They're not going to go running off on me. Okay. From your new moon intentions going back, because we're still in the moon cycle from where we set the intentions, we talked about believing in the impossible was a card you got, and meditate and contemplate. Those were the cards that were guiding the intentions that were to be set for Libra. And it talked about, and then you got the activation cards for the divine feminine. So there was some discussion about kind of healing internally, but basically it was allowing yourself to dream big and to set huge, big goals for yourself, and allowing yourself to hope and to be excited about that. And then to try to incorporate meditation into your daily life. I think something that came up might have been along the lines of like balancing practicality with spirituality for you. And message from spirit for this whole lunar cycle was a message about putting your guard down with your close friends and your trusted people, and that reassurance that you are very, very loved by the people in your life. So I feel like there was some like just insecurity going on that was I'm not really not warranted, okay? Just that had to do with some old stuff, but it was like a reassurance from spirit that you were very loved, you're very supported, and that you could be safe to be authentic, and that you needed to go ahead and do that this month. And then the angel number you got was 1721, which was master number 11, just another reinforcement that, you know, the divine is with you and guiding you through this process. The other one we got was laying down the sword. So watching out for like that defensiveness. Again, this is like in your closer relationships, but just reassurance that they're there, they love you. But the message coming through to kind of shift things is continue to do all those things, continue to work them in. There may be a friend or two or somebody that you might need to set some boundaries with, but it's just gonna be a loving boundary for your own, you know, just for your well-being. Maybe if they are helping too much, maybe they're kind of getting concerned about some things and they're just kind of stepping over some boundaries, and it's okay to say, hey, thank you, that's enough. And no is a full sentence. And don't be afraid to do that, okay? So for this particular reading, what we're gonna do is see how you're doing on those goals. So what are we manifesting since the new moon for Libra, and what needs to be made known? So what is it that the universe, your higher self wants to reveal to you for the rest of the moon cycle? What needs to be released? Oh, I feel like something caught on fire for a second. What needs to be released? What energy is coming in to assist you? Do we need to make any adjustments to your intentions? And then what magic will we be creating? Like what's going to be the outcome? Okay. And we're going to go to the tarot for that. I personally feel like I'm stumbling over my words, so I've taken a minute to invite the Archangel Gabriel. He is in charge of communication. So I've asked the Archangel Gabriel to help me communicate because I keep stumbling over my words. You may take this time to invite whomever or whatever it is that you would like to participate in this moment with us. I've also asked Archangel Uriel to join us. And I do this all the time beforehand, but I just felt like I needed to mention that in this one. And he is the angel of prophecy and of psychics and aha moments. And I ask that for you all and for me so that we can really get to the heart of the issues, that we can grow, because like that's the kind of reader I am. Is I want to see what the cards have to say. I see it as a gateway into the subconscious to be able to transcend, to grow, to have freedom, to have happiness, liberation. And I've asked Archangel Raphael to be here to help with healing. And then I also ask my guides, my ancestors, your guides, your ancestors, even if you haven't met them yet. And then, you know, the deities that I work with to come in and guide, and then yours as well. So anyway, so that being said, I'm going to take a minute, take a breath. And I'm super affected by the moon. I'm a Cancer. I'm a Cancer lunar cusp, but I'm Cancer with the Cancer rising. So like I'm double, the double Cancer. The moon really does affect me, which is why I got into following the moon in the first place, because it affects me. I might as well to go with it. So, but it affects all of us, just Cancer. The moon is my planet. So, I mean, I'm super tied to it. Anyway, so I got to kind of take a breath here for a second and get a drink of water. Okay, what deck are we using? Trying to think of the vibe. I don't know, I feel like Libra, you're still doing your, kind of going through some of that dark night of the soul stuff. I think I'll clarify with that shadow deck. I'm going to stick with the Witch's Tarot for the main deck. All right. And I've already shuffled, which is another reason I took a break, because I had to shuffle like 5 different decks. I used a lot of decks in the last reading. So I'm going to pull the cards first, and then we will go over them together. So What have Libras been manifesting since the new moon? What have my Libras been manifesting since the new moon? Okay, hopefully that didn't go too far because okay. All right, and what needs to be made known to Libras? What needs to be made known? Yeah, I was right. There's still some stuff going on. I'm gonna leave these. I mean, this deck doesn't do reversals, but I feel like I'm gonna leave them reversed because I feel like there's some significance in that particular situation. Okay, what needs to be released? Okay, well that was a lot to say. I got 4 cards there. And what energy is coming in? That's amazing. Amazing for Libra. I can't sing. Do we need to change our intentions or update them? What's going on? I feel like there's, okay. Is there more? Is there another card there? Yeah, I think there's, well, I can always clarify. No, I need to get another card. Okay, and that's for new intentions. And then what kind of magic are we creating? Oh, fucking A, yes. Yes! It's another card. Whoa, holy shit balls! So awesome. I was kind of a little worried because, I mean, first of all, I'm not scared of the cards, but I mean, I hate when I see that you're suffering, and I hate to see when shit's sucky, emotionally, but the end result's fantastic. It's great. It's happy, 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 happy. Okay, so this is for Libras. What have we been manifesting? So some of you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. Some of you have been putting things into practice, and you've been putting in the work from the intentions that you wrote and you sat down with the new moon, and you are manifesting magic. You're the Magician. The Magician is a major arcana card, and I'll talk about that and I'll explain because I need people to join in all the time. Major arcana cards are archetypal themes, karmic expression, major life lessons, forces outside of us, kind of at work in our life. And so you're successfully starting this new journey. You started in a new place. The number here is 1. It's about a beginning. It's about creating the future that you want. It's about thinking about the future that you want. And remember the intentions that we set for Libra. One of the intentions we talked about setting 2 weeks ago was dream the impossible. That was one of the ones you got from the Moonology deck last time, 2 weeks ago ish. I don't know, whatever the hell we did it. It was the new moon, roughly 2 weeks ago. Was dream the impossible. Well, some of you are doing that, and you're beginning to see the manifestations coming in, because this card is all about manifesting, believing in what you want, dreaming up those things and bringing them into play here. So this is the beginning of that, and you're doing that. Good job. And then this card here is the 5 of Pentacles. Pentacles are about material things we can touch, feel, smell, feel with our hands, not our emotions. Touch, feel, smell, hear, material stuff, work, home, family, money, safety and security, as far as like our, Maslow's hierarchy of needs being met. So some of you, what is manifested is this is a card of lack. This is known as the poverty card. So what's come to the surface is there's 2 things here. So it's come to the surface is you're focusing, you're realizing that you have been focusing on what you don't have and what is lacking in your life. And that has become the main focus, and it's blocking you. And that's kind of the purpose of all of this. In a way, it's when you start this work, this is shadow work. Okay. So it's going to bring things to the surface that have blocked manifesting. Okay. And for some of you, that's what this is. This spirit of lack, this black mindset. These people are broken, barefoot, freezing cold. They are focused on their misery. This is like literally the saddest card in the entire deck that could happen here. But this is also a card of hope, but they're so focused here on what they don't have and on their pain and on their misery. And this is, again, about pentacles. So this is about, you know, finances, home, money, food. But this here represents like a church window. So, and then the church is supposed to, I don't mean to be sarcastic with that look. Yeah, I can't help it. It's representing hope and faith and light. And they're so busy here focusing on this that they're walking right past it. So for some of you, this has kind of come to the surface, and that's kind of why this isn't happening. And so you're afraid to still dream big, and that's okay. This is what this middle point is in this full moon reading, when we're using the moon, using the moon to transform our lives, is that this is the check-in point. It's the halfway point of the cycle. See where we're at. So some of this is, some hope is starting to come in. I mean, I don't know. Some people have, like, somebody's lost a job. This is literally about losing a job. Or there's been some avoidance of some of the work. And what I'm seeing consistent across the board is that, like, forces outside of us are at play here. And so lessons are being learned, regardless of whether we are cooperating and, like, surrendering to a process and, like, looking inward on our own, or if consequences are coming in to then force us to look at ourselves. So I also feel like there's some financial problems that have come in, whether it's a job loss. This has already happened. This is not coming in. This has already happened. Or an injury or a sickness that is, like, kind of causing you to have to stop. I'm going to get some clarifiers on that, because you're more than just split into two categories here. I'm just going to clarify with the same deck, I feel like. No, don't go on the floor. Yeah, this deck doesn't do reversals, but it helps me know that there's some stuff on here. So this is the 10 of Swords. With this being upside down, like, there's just there's pain that's coming to this, that's there, but it's being ignored. But all of this work, or avoidance of the work, is what's bringing this pain up. It's like an infection that's not been tended to is going to start hurting more. That was my dog that just opened the door. And so there's, pain is coming up. But also, when we start digging around in there, and oh shit, I didn't realize that, I don't know if you've ever kind of like poked and prodded, but you're like, oh, where'd that, that didn't even hurt until I started poking on it. So some of this is bringing pain to the surface. We got the 10 of Cups. And that's where you're manifesting. For some of you, things are going really good at home. I mean, this is, in your personal life with your emotions. This is about being emotionally satisfied, spiritually fulfilled, emotionally satisfied. Like, some of you are already reaping the benefits of the work. And then the 6 of Pentacles. That goes with this. So in this card, this is about the redistribution of wealth. Sometimes, we're here and we're the ones giving, here. I feel like for some of you, there's been a shift in luck, and maybe it's a time where you need to be receiving. But you need to be able to ask for help. So we need to learn to ask for help. And maybe that's something that has manifested, is that you're learning to ask for help. And reaching out to the people you care to ask for help. This is about give and take. And I feel like some of you are here where you need to receive right now. And we need to learn to ask for help. But good job, because it's all a part of it. And if you're just getting into this work, you can jump in at any point. We're going to talk about intentions that need to be set for Libra. Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, North Node. I feel like people in the North Node are just working here and taking over the reading. So then what needs to be known? What is the universe, your ancestors, your guides, your angels, your higher self? What is needing to be revealed? Maybe something that you're missing, or that, you just haven't noticed, or they just want to say, hey, it's time to pay attention to this. We've got the Eight of Swords, the Strength card, and the Knight of Wands. And again, this deck doesn't do reversals, but so much came up in reverse that I'm going to pay attention to it. So I'm going with that. You got all three of these in reverse. So what these tell me is that we need to, well, some of them. These are, we want to turn the cards around for the most part. Except for this one. This one, actually, we want this one to be upside down because this card upright is about self-limiting beliefs. So we're needing to release self-limiting beliefs, like self-limiting beliefs, like whatever's things about yourself that you really believe about yourself. Really, really, really believe. You put yourself in this is a self-imposed prison. And swords are about the mind, thoughts, attitudes, and that affects, how we feel. So, I mean, really the Suit of Swords is kind of about anguish, mental torment. And some of you remember you have this one upside down. That's healing when it's upside down, actually. It's about healing. The swords are falling out, and we want the swords to fall out. So, keep dealing with what you're dealing with. But what's needed the rest of the journey is we need some strength. And this Knight of Wands. Just give me a second here. So this Knight of Wands in reverse is a facet of our personality. So the court cards, the way that I set my intentions beforehand, so that I'm not kind of confused. But like the court cards represent facets of our personalities, or sometimes another person. And I intuit with what that means. And this is in reverse. And then the Strength card is a major archetypal theme. It's a major arcana card. So this is, a pattern, a life lesson. This is also actually the number 8. So this is a pattern of behavior. This is about kind of controlling our anger, controlling our greed or lust. I mean, all of those kind of like things that, don't always lead us in the best place. So that's ultimately what this card is about. And with this card being in reverse, the Knight of Wands in reverse is impulsive. He's got a temper. He or she, they have a temper. They're impulsive. They're hasty. They've got a lot of energy and a lot of passion and a lot of ideas, but they're like, it's lustful. I mean, like it's a player type attitude here. Not to the point where it's out of control. A knight usually represents somebody. So this is literally somebody in their mid 30s to like 45 years old, or it's like the kind of mindset of a person that age. And that's a level of like where the obsessive or impulsive behavior would be. It's time to look at the impulsive behavior. It's time to look at the anger. It's time to look at the immaturity, because, like at 35, 45 years old, we've got enough life experience, like, we can make okay things, but we still have some of that youthfulness and that, the immaturity and the emotional immaturity in some areas. We're still learning and growing. So we have enough knowledge to kind of be dangerous, but also still have growing left to do. So it's like, I feel like this is saying that what needs to be dealt with, what needs to be faced, what needs to be known is that it's time to deal with those kind of primal feelings, those kind of the primal feelings that are detrimental to self, and that comes from these self-limiting beliefs. I feel like I feel like there's also some resistance to the transformation. There's just a resistance to it, and when he's upside down, there can be a propensity to like drink and party and do a little too much of that other stuff. But when you're dealing with this kind of pain, I mean, that's not unheard of. You don't have to be an addict to do that. Like, you can just be a normal person who's like, I'm just like hurting, so I don't want to deal with that. So basically, those are the things that need to be. I feel like what's saying is like, that's what's coming to the surface. That's what needs to be looked at. It's time to deal with those things. But I am going to ask my shadow deck, the Dark Woods Tarot, about that one. Already been shuffled. What needs to be known? Just a clarifying what needs to be known. What needs to be known. Okay. Yeah. We've got the Chariot reversed here. And then we've got the Six of Pentacles is appearing again. You've got it over here as stuff that you've manifested, but this is, it's different in this deck. And I think it just really, the Chariot is about self-control. The Chariot is about being in control of the light and the dark and the duality of self. And it's in reverse. So it's about not being able to move forward because there's a lack of control of the dual nature of self. Like, you know, our shadow and our light, our good and our, I'd say bad, but you know what I'm talking about. And that's exactly what this in reverse is talking about here. This is about the divine, this is about the feminine nature controlling and subduing, you know, that base carnal nature in us. And that's exactly what the Chariot in reverse is about. It's this and so in this deck, the Chariot here is an eagle. And so when it's upright, it's about being able to step back and take an eagle view of yourself, of a situation, a balanced perspective. Being balanced inside means we can step back and be balanced. Well, you know, you got it in reverse here. It just is reiterating that some internal balance is needed in order to be able to continue on this healing journey, in order to be able to move forward, because the Chariot is about driving forward. It's about moving forward in your soul's purpose, in your life's purpose. It's about confidence. It's a Cancer card, actually. The sign associated with it is Cancer, but it's really about self-will, self-determination, and you're unable to go forward because there's that lack of balance. And in this card, the Six of Pentacles is very different in this deck. This is about, you know, that give and take. And we got that poverty card with it. And how, like, here it's about asking for help. And it's about, you know, the redistribution of wealth. Sometimes you're giving, sometimes you're receiving. And that's some things you manifested. But in this particular deck, and what's coming to the surface for some of you, is this is about making a deal with the devil in a sense. Okay? So what are we exchanging? What are we giving? What are we giving up to be able to take into some? There's a numbing going on. There's an exchange. There's an unhealthy. There's an exchange here. So like, what are we getting from the patterns in our life? Like the with this devil here that tells me these are and 6 is a number of harmony and balance, and it's a number like there's, you know, this is a cyclical situation here. It's give and take, right? So what are we gaining from our deals with the devil, so to speak? What are we gaining from, you know, these behaviors that are out of control? I mean, I don't mean out of, some of you might be really literally out of control, but, you know, the anger, the, what the hell do you call a female player? I don't know, or non-binary player, but a womanizer keeps coming to mind. I know what you call the non-binary version or the woman version of it, but the female version of it. But like, you know, I'm going to age myself with player. I don't know. I mean, that's what this Knight of Wands is upside down, but, you know, fiery temper and hasty and impulsive and, you know, giving into the desires without thinking about the future consequences, like, rushing into romance, and relationships with like no thought for self. And, you know, there's a pattern of behavior. Like, what are you getting out of it? So, I mean, really, you know, who are you in this? Are you the devil? Are you taking the food? I mean, you know, taking the gift from the devil? Or are you signing the contract? And then what are you getting out of that? And there's going to be something coming into play here that's going to bring it up. And this is something that's going to keep you from moving forward in the direction you're trying to go. Because the Chariot's about literally driving and going and moving forward. And so this is something that's blocking. So when this block comes, it's not anybody else. The other person, the outside circumstances is not the problem. So what needs to be known here is that this is a time this is where you have to go, okay, on the common denominator. Somehow I need to look on the common denominator. We're the saying in my 12-step program. When I'm disturbed, no matter the cause, something is wrong with me. It doesn't mean like I'm to blame for everything and all aspects of it, but my job is to focus on my part, me. Why am I upset? What's going on here? And that's really going to be the only way that you move forward through whatever this problem is, to move forward to wherever it is you're trying to go. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. This is those self-limiting beliefs. You're letting them go. As you do this, these self-limiting beliefs are going to fall away, because you're going to, as you face these things about yourself, you're going to feel stronger and better about yourself. I think we're able to turn that chariot around, because that chariot card in the other decks is yellow. It's all about solar plexus, which is self-confidence and self-determination. So what we've been avoiding facing out of shame, really the act of facing it and looking at it is really going to, just, I am a sunflower. I've shared that before. It's really going to just cause you to rise up and be proud and step into who you are as a person, and cause you to be able to look yourself in the eye and other people. Now you're going to just feel so much lighter, and you're going to feel proud of yourself. So the thing that you've been avoiding out of shame, you're going to be able to use that situation to relieve yourself of that shame, and to be able to look inward and to free yourself of those limiting beliefs, and to step into who you are and your purpose and your success for yourself. Okay, that was some deep ass shit. I need not a real drink, 'cause I'm sober, but a drink of water. You've got some heavy cards. You've got some heavy fucking cards here. I'm not gonna lie. But we're not scared of cards. We're not scared of cards, okay? I don't see death. I don't see any of that shit, okay? To me, it's emotional. It's emotional stuff. It's dealing with pain. And when I see these major arcana cards, you got 2 more cards here. Again, this is stuff that's going to happen. You have no control over it. How it happens, you have control over. Will you embrace it? Will you draw it in? Or will the universe come in with this fucking tower and be like, all right, look at this card. They're jumping out the top, but really what's happening here is the foundation is being ripped out from underneath them. And so this card is a card, it symbolizes the crown chakra, and a spiritual experience, and the Kundalini energy rising to the top. For those of you who know what that is, spiritual experience, but also it's about, and when that happens, it can be painful, right? So this is about a paradigm shift at the core of who you are. So that this is when the universe comes in and goes, all right, or karma, or the results, or the consequences of our actions, or however you want to look at it. Shit's happening in that aspect. But, it doesn't have to be that way, because we got a couple of other cards there. So there's a couple of things going on. I think these are all because there's some of you at different levels of where you're at on this journey, or you're not even on the journey with me, so to speak. You're not been doing the work with me. Maybe you're doing work outside. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're just considering it. And then you could be bringing that energy in. So those of you who are doing the work, this part isn't for you. I don't believe that at all. You're going to get your paradigm shift, because that's what this tower is about. It did come in upside down. I'm not reading reversals, but it did come in upside down. This is about a shift in perspective. I'm going to try to use an example of what this card means in this situation, and one of the situations that I'm getting from this card. When I realized I needed to leave my ex-husband, the marriage was already rough. He's an addict, and he wasn't staying sober for long periods of time. I loved him very much. He's my best friend. But the marriage is painful already. But when I realized I needed to end the marriage, it was excruciatingly painful. I had to actually say, you have to go get to treatment or it's done. And then have him walk out the door. That would have been a tower moment. For me and for him. The tower moment. I knew it was coming in a sense, and the whole process up to it was painful. You know, there were factors outside of my control that made that situation happen. That would be a tower. That would be a tower moment. But that shift in perspective is what was painful. Realizing my marriage is over. I knew it though. You know what I mean? Like I knew it. But when I finally admitted it and accepted it, like I get a little, it's been 2 years since it was over. It still hurts. It still hurts a little bit. But that would be what a tower moment is. Shifting your perspective and facing reality. And that can be fucking painful. It could also be just, you know, finding out. I just don't feel like it's something that's going to just really kind of shake you to your core kind of thing. I mean, like knowing my marriage is over, I wasn't shocked by it. I mean, like I was married to an addict who couldn't stay sober, but I still was also shocked by it at the same time because I was in denial. And see how that, like that crown is coming off the top of the building. Like I was in denial up here. So by having the blinders ripped off, it was like ripping out the foundation from underneath me. Even though I was literally in the midst of it, I was in denial. So this is about kind of breaking through denial, breaking through cognitive dissonance, but this is a universe coming in to do that. So for some of you, you're doing the work. This is upside down. You're averting disaster by doing this. Does it mean that the work is not going to be a little challenging and you're on a new journey? You know, you've started a new journey. You know, go into this with joy and happiness and this is the energy coming in. This is the energy. Oh shit. I didn't even think about that. This is some fucking tower energy coming in for some of you. This is energy. What energy is coming in? Some of you got the Fool energy coming in. So that's a new beginning. That's excitement, trust, innocence, and trust in spirit. The number for the Fool is 0. We are all the Fool. But in this particular situation, this is about trusting spirit. 0 represents spirit, the divine, and it's stepping forward. She's walking off this cliff, not a care in the world. I mean, we don't really know that it's a cliff. I mean, you know, it could really just be like a step off. But it's about trusting the future, being happy and hopeful. That energy's coming in for some of you. Some of you have the Tower energy coming in. Some of you have this Knight of Wands energy coming in, with it being in reverse. I mean, the Knight of Wands is a lot of action, has ideas and acts on them like that, and gets a lot of shit done, but can be kind of hasty. With this being in reverse, I think that for some of you who have a pattern of doing that, and the swords are you, they're air signs. My dogs keep opening the door. I don't know how to get the door open. Chewbacca, no. The swords are air signs, you, Libra. So, you know, I think that this is saying that some energy is going to come in to kind of help you stop with the hasty decisions and teaching you to stop and kind of think through. Just because we have an idea, we have some clarity, doesn't mean we need to jump forward and jump on action. We got to kind of, that's what this is in reverse. If the Chariot was upright, that's about stepping back and looking at the big picture. But that energy is going to come in to help you do that. And then the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. This is steady energy. This is focused energy. This is incremental progress. This is focusing on one task at a time. This takes the frenzy that's here. I sometimes think of, you know, mental illness, you know, mental torment, mental illness when this card comes upside down. And what's needed here is some calm that comes in this card. I mean, look at the difference between these two knights. This energy is needed to calm this other energy down. That's what I'm getting. So that's coming in for some of you. And so it's going to be time to just focus on the mundane tasks. Getting your, just getting the oil changed, you know, getting your car cleaned out finally, getting on a schedule at home, with your bills, with your finances, getting a budget done. This is about just kind of taking care of remember, Pentacles are about just, you know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is fundamental things. Focusing on work, focusing on home, focusing on just the daily mundane tasks. And this energy, this person, this Knight of Pentacles, this energy that's coming in to assist you, you will be able to do that. And this is where your focus needs to be there. And being hopeful about the future. Being open to facing those things that you've been avoiding. That all this energy is coming in to help. Okay, I don't need to get clarifiers on that. That's for sure. Setting new intentions. Do we need to adjust any intentions? We got the Hierophant and the Ace of Cups here. So adding to your intentions. At the beginning of the month, Libra, your intentions were about believing in the impossible. And what the hell was it? It was believing in the impossible and contemplate and meditate. I mean, this is about contemplation and meditation, really. This is the next level of that. This is about studying and learning and teaching in a spiritual sense. Not religious so much as it is spiritually speaking. And also it's about, there's some conservative and traditional ways about doing. So I think that kind of goes with this, you know, stick to the tried and true, basically. It doesn't have to be, you know, this is about sticking to the tried and true ways of doing things, traditional ways of doing things for you. What you're doing is working for some of you. But this is about taking it to the next level. It's about learning and finding like-minded community. Finding a like-minded community to be a part of in what you're doing spiritually. For some of you, it's not even spiritual. It's more like psychological. You're working an aspect of this psychologically speaking. So we'll come at this Hierophant from that perspective. This Hierophant is a teacher and a student simultaneously. So, you know, you're going to be able to share your experience with other people. So the intention, and then this one is the Ace of Cups. And this has to do with opening up to love. And that was something that we talked about too. One of the words from Spirit we got at the beginning of the month was allowing your friends in, allowing those people who love you in, to like being vulnerable and allowing yourself to receive that love. So it looks like we're just kind of continuing on that path here. Trusting your intuition. Doing some gratitude. You know, aces are gifts from the universe. That's why there's these hands coming out of the cloud. Here's a hand coming out of the cloud. The cloud indicates it coming from, you know, forces outside of us. So I feel like there's a need to work in a gratitude, I don't know, a daily gratitude list, whether it's like 2 or 3 things that you write down every day, or just sitting down and writing one gratitude list. And the full moon is a great time for a gratitude ritual. You can just Google gratitude ritual. And you can do that next couple of days as the full moon phase. So you have a couple of days to get that done too. But you know, starting your day off with gratitude is something to add to your new moon intentions. Continuing to stay connected to spirit, because I always envision with this card, like meditation, like that connection when you know, and when you practice meditation, and like I practice, you know, with aligning my chakras. So kind of more of an Eastern type ways I meditate, but you know, I'm aligning everything, and I always kind of picture this channel coming from, you know, up here, the universe, whatever, you know, through me. And that's what I get from this Ace of Cups. And this cup is pink, and pink is a color of healing. And so allowing love to heal too, and continue to work on your healing of your heart chakra, of your heart. And what that looks like, it may be therapy for you. It may be medication. Maybe time to go to see a doctor and literally heal the heart. You might need heart medication, but I'm thinking more like this, this frenzied Knight of Wands. Some frenzy that I think of. This card always makes, like I said, thinks of like mental illness or emotional illness, and so maybe time to heal the heart chakra, heal the mind, and so it might be time for some medication, some therapy as well. I'm gonna get clarification on this Hierophant. I'll see a little clarification on that. So this is about, you know, adjusting adding to your existing intentions from the new moon, Libra. And remember, they were believing in the impossible, contemplate and meditate. And you were working on the divine feminine. Oh, good God. And it was about like laying down your swords, and that's exactly what's come up here on this Page of Swords. She's inquisitive, she's curious, asking questions, constantly researching, and that's good. We want to keep doing that. But she is kind of ready to fight at any time. We want to lay down our swords. That was the word you got. And then you got the Chariot again. This is the Chariot in the shadow deck. This is the Chariot here. I mean, I love when that happens. So your goal, your intention is to develop self-discipline, self-control, you know, the shadow. You can see a little bit, you know, better here. She's in control of this dark and light here, the shadow self and the light self, the good, you know, and that was something that had come up over here. This is it's the same card essentially. You know, you're upside down here. She's subduing that carnal nature, and here it's subdued. So your goal is to develop self-control, and in order to do that, this is yellow. This needs to be work on the solar plexus. Solar plexus, navel chakra, solar plexus, both. You know, this is where self-will, self-determination, self-discipline comes from. So, you know, as an intention, it's like, I would just write it as simple as like, my solar plexus is healed. And that's the affirmation. And then you pull out, how do you do that? And, you know, this is where you be the Page of Swords and you go be curious and you look it up. How do I heal my solar plexus? How do I develop self-discipline? How do I develop, self-confidence? How do I figure out my life's purpose? How do I, know where the fuck I'm going? That's here. And so those are the adjustments for your intentions. Adding to, continue to contemplate and meditate. Continue to dream big. And now we're going to add to it healing that solar plexus, developing self-discipline, sticking to like study and research on learning how to do these things, getting educated on your healing and on, whatever's really going on with you, healing the heart chakra, healing the mind, seeing a doctor if you need to. Those are some things we need to add in. It's like, it's time. Over here we got, all those upside down cards. It's just time to deal with these things. And relief is coming. Like the more that we resist what's coming. Because what this tells me is that this is literally really what you want. You really want to turn these cards around, so to speak. You really want to be free in your heart of hearts, even if you're not maybe doing, kind of surrendering and doing the work. So you're kind of bringing this tower on yourself by really wanting to change, but also resisting. So this is really an answer to your own desires and your own prayer by bringing this tower energy in. So do you do this research? Do you change and implement these intentions, Libra? Because you want it. I know that you do. But it is also hard to change these types of things. And especially when you're dealing with these self-limiting beliefs with the Eight of Swords, and it's like you haven't been here before and not successfully passed through that threshold. So it's like hard to think, how the fuck am I going to do it this time? I've tried a fucking million times. But I'm telling you, the amount of major arcana cards here, just believe me that I believe it's going to work this time. I do. I see it in the cards. Like, it's going to work this time. It's going to happen. Whether you willingly go with it or resist and, bring on a circumstance that's going to force you to have to look at it. One or the other. But it's what you really want. You really want this transformation. You really want it. So this is not like the universe being shitty and saying, oh, I'm going to punish you. This is you and your deepest part of self wanting to be free of whatever it is you have been holding you back or harming you or hurting you in self. You really, really, really want to be free of that. And for some of you, you just haven't been able to get past that like same hump. You get to this certain point and then you go backwards. And so right now it's just like, fuck it, why even bother trying? But at your core, you really want this. This is essentially how it happens, even if it comes and knocks your ass off, your feet out from underneath you. This is what you're bringing this in because this is what you want. How that happens is up to you. But this is something that you want to happen. You really want to be free. I really feel that you desperately want to break this cycle in your life. I really feel that way. Even the ones of you who are resisting and struggling. I really do feel that way. What's this fucking final question? Oh, energy. Hold on. I think I did this shit backwards. No, this is energy. I did, but what energy is coming in? Did I already do that? What the hell? I get these last ones mixed up, but I'm just trusting. I mean, I asked for guidance. Okay, that's the energy coming in. That is new intentions. That's released. That is what's coming into play. What needs to be known. Well, what the fuck? Where the fuck did these cards come from? I don't even know. I've got like 6 piles here already. I literally and intentionally like organized the shit out of this. Well, all right, let me see if I can figure out what the hell these cards are. Give me a second. I have to, this is what I do. I clear my energy. I just, this is part of what's coming in to help you or is available to help you. These are literal people for some of you, for a lot of you. You have a fire sign friend, big personality, and she may not even be a fire sign. She just may act like a fire sign. She's boisterous, she's funny, she's charming, she's in touch with her emotions. This black cat indicates she is completely in touch and loves her shadow self. She is confident in herself and all her flaws. She's comfortable in herself, himself, their self. This is a facet of their personality, but generally this is, I'm just saying her because it's a chick on there. She is in touch with her emotions and kind and just outgoing. Like, reach out to her. Just you have to reach out to her. You gotta fucking reach out to her or him or them. Also, it's time to like literally do the shadow work. Literally do the work. Literally do the work. Literally sit down and fucking do this work. Get in therapy. Do this work. Get to know that black cat. You can't run from it. It's a part of you. You can't wish it away. You can't shove it down. You can't, medication helps calm things down so we can face it, but it doesn't make it go away. And I'm not talking about the pain. I'm not talking about that trauma. I'm talking about the part of us that was traumatized or hurt or the talents that were repressed. Like, for instance, like, I'm really crafty and I'm really creative. But as a child, my shit got shut down by a parent. Bad. And I realized recently that because that parent shamed the shit out of me, I stopped being creative for a while, for a long time. Like, I never thought of myself as an artist. I actually am a fucking artist, and I'm in my 40s being an artist. You know what I'm saying? So it could be a repressed talent or it could be a repressed, you literally hear me talking, baby.
I need the needle.
The sewing kit's in the laundry room. Sorry. It's just time to do it. It's also time to let your Queen of Wands out. Like, it's just time to let her out. You need to see a witchy healer. Maybe you need to see me. I'm a witchy healer. I always think of a witch when I see the Queen of Wands because of the black cat. So, and then the other one is there's a Virgo. There's a Virgo person in your life. Also, some of you need to plan to get away to be able to do this. Like, the Hermit is about literally carving out time and space to go deal with some of this shit. If it's a weekend away, if it's a retreat, if it's treatment, just do it. Find a way to make it happen. Find a way to get away to work on yourself. Also, look up. I can't really tell you how to call in a spirit guide because mine just appeared to me. Like, she just came to me. I wasn't like, I didn't even know what the fuck a spirit guide was. So this is also about calling on your spirit guides. We all have them, just we don't necessarily listen to them or know that it's them, or, you know, we're blocked off from them. But go ahead and look up. This is where that Page of Swords come in, that curiosity, looking into new things and studying and researching and asking lots of questions. Look into how to call on your spirit guides, because we're not supposed to do this alone. There is a wealth of a plethora of resources out in this realm for us to call on. It's real. I mean, it's real. It's real. It's real. So call on your spirit guides. Even if you think I'm full of shit, go ahead, look it up and do what it says to do. And you fucking tell me what your spirit guide's name is when they finally introduce themselves, because I'm not lying. Mine's Diodata. She's either Italian or Portuguese. I'm not sure yet. I think she's an ancestor because I also am Portuguese. I found Portuguese ancestors, but yeah. So I've never fucking heard that name before in my life. Yeah, call on your ancestors, call on your guides, look up how to do that. And then believe it when they come. And then I want to hear about it, actually. I would love to hear about your stories with that stuff. And then what is the magic that is happening? So all of this heavy stuff, because I feel like I didn't get in your ass. I wasn't trying, all in love. Also, remember I said Mercury's in retrograde. Mercury is about communication. I feel like I feel like I'm blaming any communication errors or any issues you may take with the way that I communicated. I'm blaming it on Mercury in retrograde. Seriously. Okay? I love you guys. And Geminis are still struggling. But you're doing it and it's coming up for a reason. Keep pushing through, keep pushing through, keep pushing through. We're driving forward. We're healing. We're making time for healing and facing our demons, facing our devils, facing our destructive behaviors. We're going to do that because what's coming in, so Lovers. Oh, I should have done it. Then the Ten of Pentacles. And I'm going to explain to you what all this means together because I'm super fucking excited. And this Four of Cups. Okay. So two more, we got a major arcana card. And then this is the like final card in the minor arcana before you like get in. This is a card about breaking family patterns. Generation, you know, in the Christian faith, we call it generational curses. You know, the sins of the father will visit the children to the third and fourth generation. I mean, it's not literally a curse, right? It's like, you know, my dad's an alcoholic, so I'm an alcoholic, and, you know, I got a kid in recovery. I mean, it's not like we're being punished. It's literally genetic, okay? That's kind of, this is about breaking patterns, generational patterns, this Ten of Pentacles. And, you know, it has other meanings, but I'm looking at the cards that are with it, okay? This card is about an awakening, the integration of self. We got Archangel Raphael here. This is God heals. This is the Archangel of healing. This is about, we got the Tree of Life. I can't see which one's which because, oh my, okay. We got the Tree of Life here. So we got the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, 32 pathways. And we've got the Tree of Knowledge here. Okay. This is about, he's looking at her, she's looking at him. It's about the base nature, looking at the divine feminine, and then surrendering to this, you know, divine being. It's about healing. It's about integration of self. It's about transcending. And when this happens, we clear our own karmic debt and we break these patterns. We clear the debt of like our children. This is, you know, I talked about the Tree of Life here. Look up the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. And you'll notice the pattern here is the same. And it mirrors the chakra system. If you lay it on top of the body and on top of the chakra system, the Hebrew mystical Kabbalistic Tree of Life literally mirrors the chakra system in this pattern. Got the crown chakra up here, heart chakra here. Mirrors it exactly. We're breaking karmic patterns. We're breaking generational patterns. Patterns that have been passed down. We're getting rid of them. We're finding wholeness, healing on the inside. But like this is big. you know, and here, it's a couple of meanings for this. This really comes down to, are you gonna take that message? You know, I don't know if, I'm gonna point this out. Like every ace has a hand in it. Every ace has a hand giving this the suit to a person coming out of a cloud. Every single suit has the ace of pentacles, ace of wands, ace of cups. You know, they all have that hand. Well, this is the four of cups, and it's like, got that hand and that cup. You know, what is she doing? Is she meditating and receiving it? Is she resisting it? You know, and that's really what this whole thing is coming down to. There's divine, this is a second, like, you know, this ace was given in the beginning, but now there's like another chance coming in. We're at the four, you know, so where there's some stability being offered and some emotional stability being offered in this four of cups. Are we receiving the message? Are we going to open up our eyes? Are we going to make time to sit and meditate and contemplate? Are we going to receive it? Are we going to withdraw into ourselves? Because this is also a card about isolation. And that's up to you, Libra. Because if we receive this message and we make that time, remember the intentions are meditate and contemplate, dream big, write down the impossible, open up to love, be vulnerable, study, learn, look up, you know, all these things we're talking about. It will lead to this. Are we going to receive that message? And that's where you have, you know, that's where it's in your hands. Are you going to receive this message that's coming from the divine? Here, you got this cup coming to you twice in one reading. You know, I've been through this process. And getting to the point, meeting this part of me. I mean, this was it was the painful part was my resistance to it. That was the painful part. My fear of it and my resistance to it. That's what was painful. Once I surrendered, once cards like this came up and I went, okay, what do I need to do what do I need to do? You know, seeing the devil come up, you know, those kinds of things. All right, bring the light. Let me see. Just not being afraid anymore. That's when I was able to walk through it and not being afraid of what's hidden in here. Some of you, it's here, you know, some of you, it's hidden in your spine and it hurts, literally physically hurts your body. It's in your hips and your knees and your shoulder. Your body is physically hurting from keeping this stuff in you. Like your body is literally physically in pain from keeping this stuff in there. And your body is screaming at you to please release it. Again, the scariest part is like not knowing what that's going to be like. And as someone, I'm about to start crying, because someone who has gone through this process, and I'm going to just be very candid with you. You know, my abuse started when my mother got me home from the hospital. My body has the scars. And through this process, you know, not every memory that comes out of my body has a memory, like physical pain has a memory. But unfortunately, there are things that I do that have come to the surface. But I have MRIs to show the injuries and no car accidents to like justify them. Okay, so talk about, you know, fear of facing unknowns, because I didn't know where this terror came from. It came from a newborn baby. It came from a toddler who was kicked. You know, a trigger warning. It came from a baby who was grabbed by the head and thrown. That was in my body. But that was compelling me and driving me and filling me with fear and terror and keeping me from, you know, it's like our bodies recoil and try to protect us. They make us afraid, so we don't look at this stuff, right? But these are the patterns that are no longer serving us anymore. These are the things that are no longer serving us, and our body is hurting, and it's showing up in physical pain. But the process of actually releasing, when those memories came up, and I had other memories come up. Some of the stuff I'd already actually dealt with, but they still needed to come up in a way that needed to be physically released from my body. Yoga really helps with that. Get in therapy, though, if we're going to be doing this shit. Yoga for PTSD, pranayama breathing, that literally helped get it out of my body. My spine has stopped hurting for the first time in, I don't know, 15 years. I'm thinking when I went and got my first MRI. And, you know, I had to fucking cry. I had to scream. I did have to do that part. I did. But I've been tormented underneath the surface this whole time any fucking way. Like, what's a half an hour screaming my head off, crying? It's really nothing in comparison if physical pain can leave my body. And this is something that I can help you with. Like, this is something that I can help. Through this process, I became an energy healer. Don't ask me how the fuck that happens, but I did. I've healed my own body. And I've learned how to, Diodatas taught me to as well, and angels and all this shit. I can help you get that pain out of your body. It's attached to emotions. It's attached to trauma. And I can help you get that out. You know, go DM me, book with me. We can work on that. I need you to be in therapy, though, because I can tell from these cards there's some shit there. But you don't have to keep suffering in physical pain in your body. Keep seeing your pain management. Keep doing the things that you need to do. I believe in all of it working together. But this part was literally what catapulted me out of this. I don't even know how to explain it. And I'm still struggling. You know, today, just planning this, I had all this, I love doing these. I love doing these. All of a sudden, this just literal terror, like someone was breaking in my house, just came out of my belly. And it paralyzed me. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, and I had to deal with, what come up? Where did it go? That poverty card came up for me, that 5 of coins. Not thinking I deserve good things and not thinking I can be successful. And it's like my body trying to stop me from, you know, my inner child, whatever, just trying to stop me. Like, don't go here. I don't want you to get disappointed, and trying to, you know, keep me frozen. And I had to really release some deep stuff about, I had to release some really deep shit that had to deal with having gotten comfortable to failing at things. So yeah, being successful at things has now become like, it's like I had gotten used and comfortable with being unsuccessful at life and my attempts at things. And so things are really going well for me, and things are happening for me, and I'm making them happen. And it's triggering me, in a panic attack, and fear is coming up out of me. And I had to face a part of myself that I didn't know was there, that didn't really want to grow up, so to speak, didn't want to do these things, that had grown, in a sense, comfortable with failure, if that makes any sense. So this is the kind of stuff that is hidden in this. This is cognitive dissonance. This is the shit that's very deep. This is the shit that tarot can help pull out. This is the kind of stuff, and then I had to do some energy work on myself, and then I had to make myself do this, you know, and I got relief. And I texted my therapist too, because my therapist totally supports the work that I'm doing. She's like, this is fucking awesome. And I brought my tarot cards into her office before, but yeah, that's what the tower is. So I had a kind of a tower moment today. So the tower doesn't have to be like, oh, your whole life's destroyed. I had to face something in myself that I actually was like super, like in a way humiliated about. I don't know, not humiliated, aggrieved, like a grief. I don't know. I can't explain the feeling because I don't know how to identify feelings. I dissociated half my life. So like, but anyway, yeah, I mean, it's just time to face this stuff. And I promise you, like, it's worth it. If anything, my fucking back not killing me anymore and being in physical pain, it makes it all worth it, honestly. I'm still dealing with something in my left shoulder. It's have to do with my mother, the left side. I'm still working on that, but for the most part, I'm pain-free. Anyway, yeah, I don't even know how to close it next. I want to just start crying my eyes out right now. But thank you for listening to that and allowing me to do this reading with you and allowing me to, like, you know, just read what the cards say. I mean, it was super direct, and the universe loves you. The universe loves you. Your guides love you. Your ancestors love you. You know, the angels love you. The gods, goddesses. I don't know, Jesus, if that's who you believe in. These are real too. You know, you are loved, divinely loved and supported. And this is no different than taking out your book and saying, your Bible, and saying, this is what I used to do when I was Pentecostal. Hey, talk to me today. Except for that it gets deeper, because I do pray beforehand. I do ask what you believe in too, to join this and to speak to you and to show what's going on. They just want us to know peace. They just want us to be free, no matter who you believe in or what you believe in. And then even if you don't believe any of that, your higher self, your higher consciousness still wants what's best for you. And that's what I want for you too. So anyway, I love you, Libra. And I'm going to close the video out. Probably going to go cry. Have a fucking cigarette. And then I'm going to come back and do the final reading tonight, which will be Aquarius. And then tomorrow, I'll do an element, and then the next day. So I don't know if tomorrow I'm either going to do earth signs or water signs. I might just knock them all out tomorrow. That is 6 hours though, especially the way I run my mouth. I don't know. But anyway, stones I have on tonight. This is Tiger's Eye. This is specifically for, I was struggling with self stuff. So solar plexus, but also really the lower chakras. And then I always wear the Moldavite, which is that high vibrational stone that's psychic stone. It also helps bring garbage out. If you really want to bring it to the surface, it's called Moldavite, Moldavite. And then the Solasite, same thing. I got fire opal and then moonstone. And then my kid bought me a long time ago. He got me a ruby. It's my birthstone. And then these are pyrite, psychic protection. And I don't know what I have shoved in my bra. I have a couple of different stuff. I don't know what I have in there. I probably have, I don't know what I have shoved in there. Probably protection stones, psychic stones. I think I have some NSA, star NSA, because that helps with psychic powers. But yeah. All right, guys. I love you. I'm going to take a break, and then I'll come back to do the Aquarius readings. So namaste. The spirit in me loves, honors, respects, and is connected to the spirit in you. As you free yourself, you help free me. As you do your work, you help me do my work. And as I do my work, I help to you. So we are connected energetically. I love you.